caused the virtual downfall of Rome. Would you believe that? No. I knew you wouldn't believe that. The Bridge of Sighs, the prison, Daniel on his 11th birthday.
He's so cute.
Daniel, well, Dan's filming. Tell him when you'd like to come back to Venice. He had a wonderful comment. No, that's not what you said. On my honeymoon. On his honeymoon. A wonderful comment.
Are you his honey? Oh.
And if you do come back on your honeymoon, I will personally prepare a segment of this tape to give to you. Thank you.
All right.
And the Grand Canal is 2 miles long. On the Grand Canal we have a beautiful palace that belongs to the noble family of the city. Now they have hotels, museums, offices. We have a few clubs we own the palace, not for working so much, but for well. You know the name of the bridge? Art. Typical Ford.
Art.
Not the other one. Ford. Art.
Rio Alto. High Bank.
Art.
Pictures. Carlo worked along the Rialto Bridge in the merchant of Venice.
In a 1204 during the love of a wood here, and we can Venice. So we had to import it from Yugoslavia, the nation. From there we imported wood and stone. But we had a say, so all the buildings here in Venice are in brick, covered with like dirt, with stone, with mud. Tidal, hill. The only one we still have here. In the past, we used to visit just to save space. In time, we lost all the others, and this is a beautiful example of an early Renaissance in that. Look at this art. Here you can see the round art. But this is no. Oh. But it's very different from the first art together. You remember the first one?
Where they have barbed wire to keep out what?
Cats.
Touristas.
Mountains with the pipes underneath. But in the past, we had the ancient. Look at the decoration. It's very flat. Typical of a Byzantine art. When we see decoration,
There's a cat in the middle of the light.
He's in the cistern. That's
they're all going.
Venice, right?
Oh, sure, they come in season.
Take you to get ready. Looks pretty tough to find a place.
Yeah. This is called Quadruple double parking.
It's moving up a little here, you know.
Bread from breakfast on our walking tour in Venice. In Monaco Square. Body is buried in the church St. Mark, and the four patron saints. One of the four saints, but the patron saint of him.
Can you see the lion up there? Another lion is up there. There are many lions all over here in Venice. St. Mark, he died here. He died very far away. He died in Alexandria, in Egypt. But from there, we imported not only the also the body of St. Mark. Why? We stole it, I know. But we needed it. So we just imported to Venice. We had, you can see that they are
900 years old,
of the Greek
Byzantine.
churches. They remind you of the Russian churches.
Looks like a Russian church.
The Greek house. Let's forget the church between the left and right, we sit together. Before I forget, and then we can reverse back to this. I just wanted to mention this place. You see the four horses? Look at that. They're very famous. The horses, not these. These are the couple. They're very of the four famous using bronze horse.
How can you say the four famous from Constantinople?
First of all, they were magnificent, but second of all, animals, symbols of procuratire, because of that. The procurators were very important persons at your time. They represented the highest dignity after the doges. They were like engineers. They had the public money. They had to look after the upkeep of the public. That's a very important or name. So this is the
More or name.
the PhD is a Vermont.
Low Renaissance.
Having a
Circular
standing
archway.
decoration gold. Right? When the decoration is gold, Vermont. At the very center there's another building that's called
Napoleon.
This Napoleon. When he conquered the city, we had a church there. In that church, you need a reception, a vault where you stand. So in the model, the church was a big church, 16th century. In the model, the church and the city. That's it. There. By the way, before I forget, post office. It's right there. You see the banner, see?
Yeah.
If you walk through this arch,
Oh, the post office.
the post office. Size of the prisoners. The bridge had to connect two different buildings. On your left-hand side, the Palace of Justice. On your right-hand side, prison. So the bridge was supposed to be the last look of the prisoners at their city before being imprisoned or before being killed. And the public executions here in Venice took place right there. Can you see the two huge columns over there? Between them, people were beheaded. Remember the name? Bridge of Sighs is romantic, modern. It was given by Lord Byron, the famous British poet. He came to Venice, he saw the bridge, and he imagined the side of the prisoners. The bridge inside was one way, so there are two passageways, the way in, the way out. Listen, I think the very old St. George.
St. George District.
In the 16th century by Venice. I don't want to bore you with the name, but try to remember him because he was a very important. P, A, double M, A, D, I, O. Maybe you don't know him, but maybe you know the Palladian style. You have it in the States, your capital. But not only, above all the plantations you have in Virginia, Maryland, Georgia, South Carolina, they all follow the Palladian style. So try to remember him. You remember maybe that more or less 1 month your president
Economic Summit for
stayed
Reagan.
in
1 month ago
hotel
was right
we
there.
have on the other side. Can you see the tree? Yeah. Right there, we have the Cipriani Hotel, which is maybe the most beautiful hotel we have in Venice. They have their own boat connecting the island to the square. You can also go there for a drink. That's the only hotel with a swimming pool here in Venice. So it's really a very nice hotel. The name of that island is Giudecca. Giudecca because of the Jews. The first Jews established there. In the 16th, so Giudecca, in the 16th century, they had to move. All of them had to move to a different section of the city called the ghetto. Ghetto is a typical Venetian word used for the first time here in Venice, but the meaning was very different because now the word has a bad meaning. And discrimination and segregation, not in the past, not here in Venice. The word meant foundry, where they cast iron, because in the ghetto we had the most important foundry of the city, and the old Venetian word for metal casting was gettare. Gettare, nickname. Ghetto, because of the Jews of a German origin. They picked up the word, but they pronounced it differently. We said ghetto, they said ghetto. That's why ghetto. We still have 5 temples here in Venice, 5 synagogues, so many, and a museum. And the ghetto is the only area here in Venice where you can see very high buildings. Because we had many Jews, the area was not big, so they had to see high buildings. Look at the building there. Can you see the statue on the right-hand side? It's moving. Can you see? Look at the upper part of the body. Up there. This is the front. So, the building there. On top, there's a huge bell. 2 statues. They strike the bell every hour on the hour. Each of them strikes as many times as the hour. So now 10 o'clock, each of them strikes 10 times. Now in 1 minute, the other one is going to repeat the same. For absence of mind is foolish. The mechanism is still the original one.
Can you see him moving his left arm? His left arm is moving. Oh, they're both moving. The Moors.
Okay, the name of the building there is a clock tower.
Clock tower.
Clock tower is still working. And the clock there was made
And
in
the planets.
1497. Still working the
1497.
same.
The clock still works the same. And
They
it's
just
also
made out of
round.
Daniel's hand.
Made in Venice, by the way, not in Switzerland or in Japan or in Taiwan. Now everything is made here. I think some of you have already seen. I didn't mention it yet. I mentioned the tide. I said that every 6 hours, but you know that very often here in Venice, we have a very high tide. The water comes up and it covers the street and above all, the square, which is changing. It looks like a big lake, so we have to wear very high rubber boots. The owners of the shops put everything higher, and they put water gates on the doors, so they try to save their merchandise. And this happens more or less, harder to say, but more or less 25 to 30 times a year. Above all in November, December, March, but sometimes Venice. Those is silent. Why? Because of the Doge. D-O-G-E. Dux. Leader. President. Not the king. Doge was the title we gave to our president. Don't forget, Venice was a republic, so we never had king. Here we had president, a very modern president, a figurehead. Doge here in Venice, this is the King of England. The Doge here in Venice had no power at all. Why? To avoid a dictatorship. The Doge was a one-third elected for lifetime, so he was considered dangerous. He could have become a dictator, and we never wanted dictators here in Venice. I said Venice was a very advanced city, so also the system we had here was very advanced for the time, when all the other European countries that had kings, lords, emperors, let's say one person ruling, or one family ruling, here in Venice the century, and the first half of the 15th century. This is the main entrance door. And if you look at the decoration here, you can understand the program of the Venetian Republic. If you look at the decoration here, you see the lion, St. Mark, kneeling, I'm sorry, that he got only a catch. Now look up, on top. On top there, there's a beautiful statue with a crown, the sword, the scale. The statue up there is obviously the queen, the crown. And the lady is Venice, the city. Venice was the queen of the Venetians, the queen of the Adriatic Sea. Above all, Venice is represented as a symbol of justice, the sword, the scale. So if you look at the decoration here, which was the propaganda of the state, you understand that we never give importance to one person, but to the city itself. So we never had king.
With the gospel book and the lion with the gospel book. St. Mark's Cathedral. Even there are rugs on the floor. Almost tripped over one. Creo que más
Es una labor.
Fenster. In the form of a Greek cross.
So we don't stop here long. We already know how.
Where the red light is, the tomb of St. Mark. And this in the shape of a Greek cross. Four. Marble. Star of David. In front. Side transit, St. Mark's Square, St. Mark's Basilica. There's the Bridge of Sighs from the other side. And this is the glass blowing factory. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Nano glass blowing.
Pot to pick up all little pieces of broken colored glass. Now that gives you a surface decoration just outside that is known as millefiori. So many colors, as a matter of fact. Millefiori means 1,000 flowers. Many colors around it. As a matter of fact, this is something that was made first almost 700 years ago. So we haven't invented much nowadays. Okay. See now the rolling of that. Now you see the blowing, the very first part of the word. Now blowing must be done gradually so that you get the same thickness all around the piece itself. See how it's done. Now, I mentioned before about tools. Now, the main characteristic of the Venetian work, and let's say what makes us unique around the world, is first of all we have changed very little throughout centuries. But most of all, we don't use molds, we don't use machines, we don't even use special tools. Those are the tools that we need. Now, cutters for an obvious use, but most of all, pincers, like the one that Matt is using now, of different shapes. That's the main tool. A little more blowing, you can see the shape of the object coming up. It is going to be a little flower vase or a little flower vase. One of them. Okay? You'll never know. Now see, he's flattening up the top part now of what we're making. That is going to be the base of the flower vase. So now, as you may imagine, it's reversed the work, connected now from its bottom part. Now we can start shaping the top part of the vase. Now, this is the beginning for any object that we make with this same technique. So all objects made the same technique starts like this. So this is really quite a sufficient demonstration. Okay? I mentioned a plate, so you can get a flat surface with this technique. Use a bit of imagination in this case. By opening up the mouth of that vase to its maximum extent, then you get a flat surface. It could be a plate, as it could be also the bottom of a drinking glass. What makes it stand up? Now see the opening up of the mouth vase again down by pincers. As you see, it wasn't that difficult at the end. If you remember everything, you can do it at home. Let's run and tell about the colors. Now see, two little angles are going to be applied. It's like playing with toffee. All toffee, by the way. And see that I haven't told you any lie. It's always pincers. Really, you only need to know what you're doing. Understand? No? Just a few touches, please then let us know if you like it. Otherwise the master will cry because it's sensitive. You also know if you've done the job. There it is. You like it? Yeah. Now, to keep it, we place the medium size second oven. That's a cooling unit. There you have a temperature of about 600 centigrade. We'll take it slowly down to 7. Okay. Now, obviously, if we leave it outside like that, the sudden change of temperature will eventually break, or it could even explode altogether. By the way, cooling down depends on the thickness of the work that we made. And to give you one idea, for very large sculpture pieces that you see upstairs, we might need them, even need, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks of cooling time. Now, an example of sculpture work. Sculpture means sculpture. Okay, so this is the same. It's more difficult to make. This is the technique that we used to take most of our modern pieces. In this case again, just a pair of pincers. We don't blow the glass, we shape a solid mass of glass. We could make it much larger. We only need a team of persons to hold a big mass of glass, and the master works with no tranquility. You see what it is now? Anyway, that is truly an Italian horse with 4 legs.
The horse?
It's a town gas. 4 years back, we used wood, coal, and now it's much more cleaner. And as a matter of fact, that's the only thing that has changed as far as our work is concerned. Even where the man is sitting down, we never buy furniture from a shop, we make it ourselves. Rather rough, but that's okay, it works. Now let's hope he stands up while they shoot him, and we place it there. We don't touch it, eh? It's not direct. See how quick? Now you put here. 2 techniques in all. And there it is. Bene, grazie. So, as I promised you before, now I'm going to bore you for only a few minutes, okay? And tell you about colors and decoration, then I'll let you quickly look around by yourself in all the other rooms. About colors, but before telling you about this, suppose you've seen a few pieces when you walked through the little alley there. Now that gave you an idea of what you can produce in glass or crystal. So in our main factory in Murano, at moment we employ more than 200 persons shaping glass, then other persons decorating glass. Out of those people, we have 43 masters specialized in either the blowing technique or the sculpture technique. So there we produce, you could say, everything that is possible to produce in glass and crystal. So I give you a few examples. If you look there, that's a Venetian chandelier done with the blowing technique. You've seen a piece of that being finished when you walked in. So this is done with the blowing technique, as well as we make the crystal chandeliers such as that. Okay? So we make all sorts of mirrors. We make crystal and glass beads, mosaic work, different glasses, drinking glasses, and so on. Eventually you see all of that in the other room. By the way, before you look around by yourself, I'll tell you a few words about this type of work, very simply because if the pieces you see here are made in the way I'm going to tell you, they are only made here in Venice. Okay? So this is the most traditional type of work.
Copper.
You probably guys. Now it's this is cobalt oxide. We call it cobalt blue. For the light color blue, we need a little less of cobalt oxide. We need a little bit of silver oxide as well. Now this is aquamarine, the color of the water. There must have been a few years before. Okay. Now I suppose we would have to need make something of this color, more near to true of what the water looks like nowadays. By the way, another color, this one, this needs cadmium oxide. Be a little more difficult to find it to glow so slow. By the way, cadmium oxide for the yellow color. Then two colors that we are quite proud of. Show the first one, this one. Then this is amethyst color. It's a mauve color. It was made by really an accident almost 1,000 years ago. That's manganese oxide. Now, for tradition, we still keep this color for all of our spring lamps. Okay? All around Venice, this is the color of the lamps. Last color, I think the one that we are most famous for is this one here. Okay? The red. This is also the most expensive color. To get this shade of red, we need selenium oxide, and we also need a little quantity of gold in liquid form. Okay? Nothing to do with quality. The color is the most expensive. Alright? Now let's talk about decoration. I show decoration in a small vase so that you can see it well. Okay? There it is. This one here is a type of decoration that is known as trefoil. 3-5 technique of decoration. This takes 3 different operations. It takes, as a matter of fact, several days of work, but to make it easy, to take quicker, let's say it takes 3 days. Okay? Make it in 3 days. Will be the first day for the master blower. He blows the vase. In this case, they told me to call it a vase because it's fairly expensive. Right? After the making, let's say 24 hours of cooling. The second day, gold leaf is applied. This is gold 24 karat. This is done in very, very thin layers of gold 24 karat, one on top of the other, until you cover the piece. I'll tell you why you need 24 karat in just a second. Third day will be for the enamel. The 3 ingredients, the 3 materials, are fused together and make one single block. Okay, 24 karat is needed because if you were to use anything that is less than 24 karat, the part of that is not gold eventually darkens. And you go mad about it, and you want to buy it, we don't stop. Okay? Are you glad about it? But one thing, suppose you have brought a lot of money yourself, and you don't know how to invest that money with that sort of price. Okay? Other ideal prices. If you like a coffee set such as this, you cannot spend more than $2,000. Okay? One thing, again, before you start worrying. As far as the money is concerned, no problem whatsoever. We can take these type of sets here are, of course, for liqueur, after dinner drinks, cognac, also for wine if you're very tight with your friends, or you don't want to drink too much. Reason is, of course, that they are very strong. Obviously, if you like to have a set such as this one here, you don't have to have too many parties in the evening, and you mustn't drink too much, because if you break or your friends break something like this, then you won't have a party the next evening. Okay? With this type of sets instead, I think you're quite safe. Now, price-wise, these are we made this type of price. $155 US would be for the set complete. So the 6 glasses we catch on the stopper. You see that also the stopper is blown. This part here is grinded, and each set has got its own stopper. more than likely is to try this one to that one. Might not fit very well. See? Okay.
Okay.
So each one is done, of course, individually. With a little tweak, it fits very well. So that's a price for every color. If you eventually like the red, remember from what I said, red is a little more expensive. By the way, you can pass the glasses around, Please, and have a look. Each set has got 6 glasses, so...
Now you know why we're paranoid about our
Have a look if you like.
What
You
you
see
think?
that if you like to compare a couple of glasses, they won't be exactly the same.
I do.
If you've got some very good Irish friends,
I don't
Okay.
know what's open.
Andrea, is it on?
Yeah.
Show Dad what you got. How many lira? 31,000.
31,000. Oh my God.
And look at all those lira you got.
How many dollars is that?
23. Uncle Alan's making sure she gets the right change.
Yeah. Here's a financial consultation.
Uncle Alan says that it's good.
It's the right change.
All right. Are they going to pack it up for you?
It is all packed. That's
Never
just
go to
a
Italy
dozen.
without your accountant.
Here's your...
Ah, that's the real one. Oh.
We use the fake one for the...
A quiet, peaceful lunch in Venice.
I see you did pretty well.
I'm hungry.
Andrea's donating her pizza to the big cheese here.
Ah, the Swiss cheese or the Italian cheese? Thank you, Andrea. What do you think of the pizza? Jenny? Daniel? The pizza sort of halfway. What's the name of this place that we're in?
I don't know.
What's their specialty?
Fast pizza.
Fast pizza. Okay. We're off at St. Martha's Square after we've just finished seeing the glass blowing. We didn't buy any glass. Andrew
It
did.
looked really good. Very expensive. Multi-million.
Janice is really excited over having to make a decision whether we're going to go to the Ghetto or not. What do you think? Ghetto.
I did have a little...
Waiting for the paparazzo to
People don't even know what you look like. All they know, people think it's attached to you. Yeah, they think
it's my nose.
People think it's attached to you. They do. Yeah, they go, oh, he's the one with the video camera for a face.
1,500 for the paparazzo.
I need my...
Nuevo Ghetto.
Like a $1.10. $1.15.
I can't find my...
That's the Alto Bridge.
I've got to find my film roll.
We had 2 choices. Paparazzo 1 or Paparazzo 2.
Are they bigger than the...
How do we know where to get off?
Yes.
This is like a
Very good.
Yeah.
There you go. Stay towards the front. Daniel?
You were right, it's 4. 4? Thank you.
She has a giant eye.
4th stop.
Fourth stop, it's going to bump.
Yeah, I was right, it's 3.
Oh.
Thank you.
You redecided.
We'll see now.
Huh?
One way. So it's not 1,200, it's 1,500. He was incorrect.
Still pretty reasonable. Like a $1.10, a $1.15. All aboard that's going aboard.
Nuevo Viejo, Nuevo.
Their cats playing dodgeball at Florence. They were running on the shore and every time the water came, they ran away. When we land, probably bump against the side. There's a fire. There's a fire. Look at this. Piazza Roma, Lido, and vice versa. Remember, that's Italian, vice versa.
Where's the fire?
Where?
Where's the fire?
Oh, where's the fire? I don't know. Dad, I don't know what you're talking about.
Watch these guys in the red boat over here.
They're going in. Where's the fire?
They're paramedics.
They're paramedics. Where's their fire? They're paramedics. Somebody got run ragged by their parents. They're not walking very fast. You're right. They're not. The Italians.
Right.
They rush all the way.
Anche sono guardano. Go.
Okay, let's go.
So it was 4.
No, 3.
4.
No. So overall, so stage,
Oh. Oh, 3 exits. I meant exit number 4. Oh.
Exit, three stations from the Rialto.
All right.
So we were both right. No.
People from Nottingham. They live in London. They live in Nottingham.
Uh-huh.
Like in Nottingham Forest.
Yes.
A dirty. We are very lost. Laundry all over. Let's take one of these boats.
Why do you think I'm filming?
I say we're because you need to use up the film.
Filming,
Dad. I say that we take one of these boats.
Because this is the kind of area where your people live.
Oh, here's a kitty.
Out off the beaten track.
Mom, that's like
1500. There it is. There it is. Ghetto Novissimo. You see it, Jenny? Yeah.
No, but we can stop.
Dad, film the kitty cat. You're filming? Are
Can
you
I
filming?
jump?
Yeah.
I'm
Film
gonna
the
jump.
kitty cat. See the kitty cat?
I don't see him.
It's down there.
Here's Jean, Janice. Here's Jean Penzo's shop.
Oh, you're right.
Here's our cup.
Oh, great. I heard about this. You should be glad you could look at it. Here's where we got our cup, Alan.
The synagogue was closed for
5 synagogues.
Yeah. Where's the Ashkenazi
The old
one?
synagogue is behind here.
Look at that one. No, can we go home? We want to see there. They'll give us a tour of the synagogue.
Mom. Mom.
It isn't small. There isn't. This is the whole ghetto. This synagogue happens to be open.
Isn't that cute? Oh, that is really cute. I remember this. This leads from the old to the new. Remember, there was only one exit at one time, and that was the bridge.
That was the bridge?
Well, the original one was over there. No, it's on the other side. You could only go in and out, and then they added this one to expand. Special.
That place it should be.
This is Chabad house in the old ghetto.
New ghetto.
Now this is the old.
Oh, is this the old?
So there's the, see where it says Vecchio?
Yeah, Vecchio's bridge.
Right. Vecchio means old.
Oh, Vecchio.
Panto means.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
And
right.
there's the new ghetto over there, and then beyond, Novissimo. No.
You
Start
might,
counting in the
Mom,
million
that
of
might be a
lira.
pun, Mom.
What did you buy?
Wait, I was going to show.
That's all right.
She just wrapped it
That's
up.
all right.
It's
this?
a Jewish starvation crystal.
Oh.
It's not, this isn't the one.
That's okay.
Close enough.
Daniel in the center of the ghetto.
No, Mom, we're going
Look at this. This is huge.
We're going to have a, this wasn't here before.
No, it wasn't.
87. 87.
It's just done.
The tourists amongst the headhunters. Isn't that what it is? The tourists going to the jungle with all the headhunters.
This is the, what's it say? Men, women, children, masses for the gas chambers, advancing toward horror of the executioner, their sad Holocaust engraved in history, and nothing shall force your death from our memories, for our memories are your only grave. The only other bridge into Campo di Ghetto Nuovo, the Campo Viejo. Into there. Gianfranco shop, Sinigang,
Canton Synagogue, now the Ashkenazi synagogue built in the 1532. It was a private synagogue. Probably the name Canton derived from the name of the family. Probably Canton or Canton. Or here in Venice, probably we call Canton for its position because the synagogue is in a cold.
Jenny, come and listen.
Then the area called Old Ghetto, and another area in the 17th century called Newest, 1656, when Venice in this year was free from Austrian domination, and the king, Charles Emmanuel II, the Italian citizens had the same rights. But it was a little period before they had a yellow circle here on the clothes.
Open and close.
And then they changed the yellow circle with a yellow hat. Okay. Now we're going to see the two Sephardic temples in your ghetto. And then we come back here and visit the church. Okay?
The Ghetto di Venezia. That's where we were before. Janice? You went? Yeah. Entrance to one of the three Sephardic temples. Temple Ghetto. Temple Nuevo. Temple Viejo. See their name? Which one is this? Is this the German? Well, the last one we're going to see is the German. This is also Sephardic? I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, Dad, yes, somebody's look.
L'idea era partita diversa, poi è stata presa questo tipo di effetto che si diceva avanti negli anni. From the original, from 16th century, are the floors, the benches, and the decoration of the walls. This is not marble, but from wood painting. The bima, the aron, and the other phrases in the room date back to the 17th century, and other phrases with golden leaves. Anciently, the bima was in the middle. Below is opening in the ceiling, used probably as a skylight. And then, excuse me.
If she writes on a religious article, it's duty-free.
Good.
So this is the glass statue of the man with the chauffeur.
Yes.
So let's see. It's you have let's see if I have 30. You do? Good.
Girls, have you had enough? Jenny, have you had enough?
Do I need a receipt?
I had enough now. 4 hours ago.
How do you feel? One mas. Alan, you want to go around a few more times around the islands?
I'd like to take a shower.
These are the prints that we got in the print shop right adjacent to Bauer Grunwald, the
The
hotel.
same print shop where we bought the 4 Venice pictures that currently hang in our entranceway. We have returned. Look at this. This is nice. How much are these that are down the wall here?
120,000, about $90.
Those are very nice.
I printed on copper.
Those are nice.
Copper. From the Rialto Bridge.
Is that you when you were young?
There. There's Gil at a younger age. The kids are shopping. Daniel's on his own. Jennifer and Andrew are on their own. We're supposed to meet here at 7:45. What are the odds?
Not real good.
Janice? Who knows?
About the odds of the Dodgers winning the World Series this year.
Rialto Apparato exit. At the top of Rialto Bridge. waiting for the kids. At 7:45, so we can go to dinner. Without Prince. You saw Prince here?
Still going?
Yeah.
Of course, Prince and
The Pauper.
Very Medieval Tapestry.
The Prince and the Pauper.
Prince and the Pauper. That's very good, Gil.
Is it hot?
This is so hot, Dad.
Oh. It's hot. You want to help him? My hands are full. You want to take the mushrooms off? Okay. Chug-a-lug. All right.
This is Janice in Venice chug-a-lugging wine.
After being kicked out of 3 restaurants.
That's why I'm the most even-tempered member of our fair group.
This is at the Cory Grill restaurant dinner.
Gil,
Last
Cory
night in
Grill
Venice.
met all of our requirements. Gilbert,
Yes.
the Cory Grill, we are not cooking inside.
Yeah.
We are able to sit,
Yeah.
and we have food for everybody.
And they didn't require
And
no
Dan
pasta.
brought his
we
own
have to
pizza.
have 5 courses. And the service charge is included.
Mom, isn't the guy how many places? I want to go home.
How many places?
And we're outside.
3. Junior, what are you going to do with that? Bring it with you. Are you?
Mousse on the way to San Marco.
We're done. Take this with you. Would you get up and start walking?
Oh my God.
What'd you say? Janice is going to try and do...
Say how much I had. I had 2 glasses, little glasses.
All right, try and do tandem gait here. Yeah.
Really, really fast.
Can't do it. 2 glasses of wine. Not too quick.
No.
All right, now try to finger to nose.
Close your eyes. You know, you have to close your eyes.
Close your eyes.
You have to close your eyes, Mom. You missed.
Not trying. Oh. We're on a boat and we're leaving Venice, the Bauer Grunwald, and heading where? Florence. Have Mom stick her head out.
Where is Mom? Up there?
Oh, there she is. Adios, Bauer Grunwald. And arrivederci, Venezia. And Giorgio Maggiore. Santa Maria Santa Luca. Parroquia di Santa Maria.
Have you seen a couple of fantastic movies which you should see now that you have been in Venice when you come back? One of them is an old movie. I think it was with Donald Sutherland. No, to Florence. When the first rooster would crow, they would ride on the street to Florence. And where the two would meet, that would be eventually the border.
That's pretty.
What the Florentines did, they took a black rooster. It happened to be a black rooster, which is, by the way, an ancient symbol. A symbol which goes back to pre-Roman days. The rooster, the black rooster, and the she-wolf. These are the 2 ancient symbols. And with that, he really initiated the Italian language. You know, the Italian language until then was an ugly Roman dialect from the fall of the empire. Not Latin anymore, terrible dialect. A similar dialect you find today when we get to certain parts of period, the Renaissance period. We'll see much of that. Dante said about the city of Pisa already at that time, they hated each other. He said, maybe one day there will be a special high tide, and maybe one day even the ugly leaning tower will disappear. He was hoping for that, you know. He couldn't stand Pisa, Dante, and many others. except the last 2 winters. The last 2 winters was crazy, especially 2 years ago. Even the palm trees burned in Rome, but they recovered again now. Beautiful old stone houses coming up, the so-called rustic farmhouses. You can find them rather inexpensive in this area. South of Florence, very expensive. The little farmhouse, like you see them here on the right-hand side, little stone farms, you can pick up here for about $10,000, $20,000. Patience if we are 5 or 10 minutes delayed. We won't be later than that because there won't be any traffic right now because it's lunch hour, coming close to lunch hour. So I'm sure it won't be longer than an hour, 5 minutes. Very many to have a watchtower because you better watch out if your neighbor, what your neighbor has in mind this morning, you know, because you never knew in those days. I told you in some certain areas, you remember the story of the Romeo and Juliet in Verona. The Ghibellines, some of the Ghibeline families would not walk around at night time. You would not walk out because there was danger of being murdered by somebody else, by some other family who was having a different purpose anymore to have a watchtower because you have been conquered. So many of them disappeared. Also, a lot of them, not so much in the city of Florence, but outside the Chianti Hills. Tomorrow when we drive to Perugia and to Assisi. I think it must be very warm outside because it's humid and in general it should be warmer than Venice, so I think we'll daytime recreation area and so on. Have a little market there, probably held now as some festivity, but at nighttime I wouldn't go in there.
No nighttime gallivant.
Just behind us, that park, that garden. Ahead of us is the beginning of the city, the Arno River on the right-hand side. And these couple of bars are just on the other side of the square on the left-hand side, but I haven't seen them being open. Oh yeah, one of them is open there. And you know what? You probably get something to eat in that where they have the festival there. I saw people coming out with all kinds of sandwiches and probably get some local specialties there. I would take a little walk down there. I'm sure it's fun. Maybe you can pick up something, some more typical souvenirs, you know, what the locals would buy there and so on. Okay, now, if you want to come inside with me, it will take me just a couple of minutes to arrange for the rooms. You have to wait a couple of...
Here we are in Florence, the best city in the whole world.
The best city?
The best food.
And it's quiet because the kids are off in pieces, so the adults get to have some peace and quiet.
The best shopping.
And there's David, or the copy of
That's
David.
The copy of
That's
David.
not the Academy. And then there's the Bargello.
Isn't this the Duomo Tower?
Signoria Square. Piazza Signoria.
You see Jenny's shop over there?
Oh, Jenny's shop.
Maybe we'll take a carriage ride.
Maybe later?
Oh, they smell like horses.
Hey, maybe here, Alan, here's something you could eat. You could put a food bag around you.
Can we find out how much they charge over here? No. That'd be a fun place to take around.
That wasn't that bad, 7,000.
Piazza Signoria.
No, that's what he said it would be.
The horse
Signoria.
Oh,
he's counting.
Okay.
One thing we could do if we wanted to be a sport, we could send our three, I hate to say this on video because what if we don't do it? We could send our children and their friends. Andrea could choose 3 people to ride on the carriage with her.
Ah, she's going to hear that later.